Oh, good evening. Welcome to the studio. I'm Zaraganat. Well, tonight I'm going to take this a little bit easy. I am going to just do the background. For no other reason than just to do the background. Nice easy stream. In which I should use my glasses so that I can see what I'm doing. So today I've had an interesting afternoon. I've been driving from Sheffield to Toulouse. And keep missing turnings. So I've been playing Euro Truck Simulator this afternoon, for a change. That is something I haven't done in an awfully long time. So I felt like getting the steering wheel out and playing a bit of the game, I suppose. You can't sort of say driving a few routes, I guess, making a few deliveries. I'm kind of disappointed that this year there isn't the Christmas delivery thing, which SCS used to do in the past couple of years. So I am literally just going to do something easy tonight, which is this background. And this is a survey part of this image. Which has to be done at some point, so I could either do it right at the end or I can do it now. So I figured, you know what, let's do it now. It's a chance to do some really easy pyrography. Having said which, it's easy-ish. It is quite easy to do. But it still takes a fair bit of work to do because I want this to be smooth, and when I get to the other side I know the wood doesn't want to play the game. It wants to not go as dark as I want it to go, so now one of the things I am doing here is just trying to hover the pen just over the top of the wood, or just on top of the wood, trying my best not to push down. I would get a little bit of better heat conductivity doing that, but then it sort of does cause the surface to distort a little bit, and I'm trying to avoid that. Now I'm using quite high heat, and I can already see just the difference. So I'm working my way up here. Now down there the wood changed colour relatively quickly. Up here it's getting a little bit more resistant around this bit here. This is where I already had a part of a problem earlier. This bit of the wood is somewhat harder, and that seems to mean that it doesn't want to take the colour, it doesn't want to cook as easily. Which I suppose potentially is because it doesn't contain as much liquid. Wolfie, good evening. Indeed, I'm glad that your world domination efforts are paying off. How are you today, sir? What have you been up to today? Apart from a number of chores this morning, this afternoon I spent playing Euro Truck Simulator. Which is something I haven't done in probably about a year, so it was a case of getting the steering wheel out, setting everything up, and then time just flies. Babysit dog. Okay. I'm a little bit late on stream tonight because I started my tea a little bit late because I just finished one of the Euro Truck Simulator deliveries, and I was 1 point short of the next level up, so I had to do another one just to get the 1 point. You get the dog for 2 days every week. Okay. Part-time dog, eh? So what breed is this dog? Or is it just a something dog? You know, something... the equivalent of a cat muggy, I guess. They call them mongrels. Dog of no specific breed. So I thought tonight I'm just going to do the background. You have no clue how to say English. Okay. I guess that makes us even because I'd have no idea how to say it in Dutch. Yeah, I should really have been designing a Christmas card this afternoon, and I'd better get on with it, otherwise I think it's going to be after Christmas. So that will be something I will do later this evening. And then tomorrow night's stream is quite likely to be the Christmas card. And I kind of don't want to be halfway through doing something complicated on here and have to leave it for a few days, which is why I'm doing the background tonight. Labradoodle in Dutch. I know what you mean, but it's kind of an odd combination in a way, isn't it? A Labrador and a poodle. A Labradoodle. Well, it's winter here in the UK, as you know, because it is in Netherlands as well, but for some reason it's about 12 degrees, so it's quite warm outside, which makes the studio quite warm as well. So, and here I am heating up even more with pyrography tools. It's special for people who are... Oh, okay. I didn't know it was known as anti-allergenic. Lady Zara, believe it or not, is allergic to cats, or specifically long-haired cats. Actually, she's also allergic to short-haired cats, but like ours, but she's kind of got used to them. And to be honest, I don't think it would matter if she was allergic to them. She'd still want to have them around. What I ought to do at some point is polish this, because it's getting a little bit rough. I can polish it using the same stuff that I polish the carving blades with as well. It needs a leather strop and some fine polish, which is what I've got for those. So. It then makes it glide more smoothly over the wood when they're polished and clean like that. One thing you always want to avoid is taking sandpaper or anything really abrasive to the tips. Most of the time I clean these just with a piece of paper, so I use a piece of kitchen paper. And no, it doesn't set fire to it. Oh, that's good. Animals have this this ability or this reputation for making people a lot more calmer and healthier. I mean, medically, they take animals into places like hospitals and things like that, because it actually helps patients recover. And I think what they've proven that stroking an animal makes your heart rate go down and lowers your blood pressure. So I'm not surprised you feel a lot happier with an animal around. I know Lady Zara hates losing animals, but she wouldn't be without them. Even if they do ignore us most of the time. At the moment they're still kind of finding their own places in the house, and they go hide for hours on end and you just don't see them. Where we were previously, the house was a bit smaller, and they always used to come and sit with you. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. Now, this isn't quite going as smooth as I want. Which reminds me, I must see if I can find the other pyrographic tips I've got. I must have at least 2 more. I'm sure I've got a spear shader, and I know I've got a larger shader than this, which would be ideal for, in principle, for doing things like this. This background here. But I know they're being put away somewhere safe. Yeah. And the problem with putting them away somewhere safe is I've no idea where somewhere is so safe that I can't find them. really ought to stop putting things away safe, because I can never find them again afterwards. If I put them away not safe, then there's no problem. Now this is relatively easy to do. As I mentioned earlier, it's not easy because I'm trying to get something fairly consistent, and I can see the difference between it. Not showing up so much on the camera, I guess, which is good. I know what it is. It's because I'm not. I'm starting and stopping in the same place every time. And I kind of know I shouldn't do that. So let's see if I can avoid doing that. So consciously here now, just trying to make it so that I start and stop this in a different place. So I'm not particularly trying to get a pattern, I'm just trying to make sure it's a ragged right hand side. That way when I come to join on the next bit, there isn't a defined edge that you can see because it's a ragged edge. And I really hope you don't see the ragged edge. So what is this? Today's Wednesday, I think, isn't it? That means there's what? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 4 more days before it's Christmas. To imitate a very slightly noddy holder. It's Christmas. If you didn't know, that's a song. I don't know what the lyrics are from, but it's a song. I really ought to get the little fan back out, but I can't be bothered because I need the power supply as well. Okay, so Pretzel, why are you not doing something? Oh, I thought OBS had crashed then. Let me just see if I can sort Pretzel out. You just had Sinterklaas like 15 days ago. It's Pretzel's got a problem. It looked like it wasn't able to find some of its tracks. It should be playing again now. It seemed to tried skipping through about 10 different tracks as I was just watching. Well, I haven't put a Christmas tree up yet. That's something that we're going to try and do, I think. Maybe tomorrow. I've got some lights to put up outside. So I'm going to be busy again tomorrow, I think. I kinda like all sparkly and twinkly things. I'm not particularly one for things like animated Christmas trees and stuff like that sing to you. I think they get a bit annoying really quickly. But what we do have, ready for a few years, is a set of bells which play themselves. So the real bells as such, and they're electronically controlled, but they actually play Christmas carols, and it's actually sort of the clapper sort of hits the bell, so you get the proper bell sound. It's quite a fascinating sort of thing. A bit like a string of fairy lights, but not fairy lights. You know what? I learned the other day what fairy lights are. Now I don't mean they're bulbs with things, but the sort of mythology behind fairy lights is that people would catch fairies and stuff them into little glass bottles and hang them by their doors to scare away the evil spirits. So really, sort of fairy lights that you put on Christmas trees and decorations like that came from being cruel to fairies and keeping them captured and captive. So all of a sudden fairy lights don't necessarily seem like as much of a good idea. It's a modern equivalent of keeping fairies in slavery. Well, I guess I'm getting practice at doing this because it seems to be going smoother now. And then I opened my big mouth and Murphy walked into it. So it's not going smoother anymore. Actually, I'm probably trying to go too fast again. As I work on pyrography, a particular area like this, for example, I end up trying to go too fast. I just naturally get faster and faster at moving. Not that it doesn't take a lot, it's just a small amount, but you don't transfer as much heat then, and therefore it doesn't go the colour that you're after. I'm going right to left on this side here because, like carving, it's really hard to come on an edge that way. It's a lot easier to go off the edge. I like quite a lot of the Pretzel Box music, but sometimes these pieces, I'm not quite sure I'm that bothered about them. This is one of them. If it wasn't nearly finished, I'd probably skip it to the next track. Kinda today I feel like some really chilled out music, and by which I mean sort of really calming and relaxing music. This is a little bit more than I would describe as relaxing. In fact, what I ought to do is just have a look and see whether it's still on the chill station. It is, yeah. I wonder if they have a relaxing station. I'm just going to have a look. Give me a second. What have we got here? No, I don't want to play this. We've got some holiday tracks, ambient tracks. Epic, interesting. I have no idea what EDM is. Let's play, there's only 6 tracks, but let's play some holiday tracks. It's Christmas, so let's try some of that. These are Christmassy stuff. Then we'll try a different genre. I'm not altogether sure this sounds like Christmas. It doesn't immediately jump out at me as being, hey, it's Christmas because of this music playing. Oh, well, there's some bells now. Well, Christmas carols. Oh, bagpipes, they're always good for Christmas. A good pipe band is always worth listening to. I must remember this year on Christmas Day that there's a Doctor Who episode on. Last year I missed it completely. I forgot about it so much I didn't even manage to watch it within the time it's available on the BBC iPlayer, which is a replay, so I think I missed it by about 3 weeks. Now this year, of course, it's a big milestone in a way, because the Doctor becomes female for the first time in his history, which I guess is going to prove interesting. I mean, after they've done it with the Master, it kind of was inevitable it had to happen with the Doctor at some point, but no. I don't know if there's anything in sort of the Doctor Who canon that sort of says they can't actually change gender. Well, there isn't, because they've done it, but I'm trying to think if there was any sort of it's certainly going to be an interesting perspective to see how they play it. I think it upset a lot of fans, and don't quite know why, but so in some ways doing the black background is quite fun, because it's there's no real requirement to to hit a particular colour or to hit particular lines, other than that one, which I've already done. So it's quite a relaxing sort of thing to do. It still takes a level of skill to do, because you want it to be smooth. In this particular case, I want it to be sort of smooth. I mean, there'll be some variation, but given that it's supposed to be night and dark, then I guess a little tiny bit of variation isn't so much of an issue. I mean, there may be sort of just slight variations in, maybe there's bushes or trees behind which just vary the quality of the dark a little bit. actually. What was I watching? Oh yeah, I was watching a YouTube for Direwolf 20 in Minecraft, and of course he at the moment he's doing some mining in the deep dark, and when you're in the dark you've got you get attacked by things, the Vashta Narada, isn't it? It's from Doctor Who, of course. And I was just thinking then, this is the dark, what's out there? And it just, it's crossover. Amazing how ideas come together. So in doing this, what I'm doing is I'm only moving a small amount up at a time, so any particular little bit that I'm doing gets covered over about 3 times by the time it's worked its way down the tool, the length of the tool, which is meaning that I'm getting quite a consistent colour because of that. It's the sort of 3 attempts at laying down the colour. It's kind of like the first pass is like a initial colour and preheat, and then the second and third passes sort of smooth everything out a little bit and add the final colour. So one thing I've noticed working here on this easel is that the vapour that's coming off this, which usually comes up over my fingers and tends to come in my face, isn't. It's going right up the side of the board. So it must be kind of just the angle or something. But I'm quite happy about the fact that that's what it's doing. I don't want this vapour in my face. It's not fantastically pleasant. Well, it's not pleasant at all, to be honest. It's a little bit acrid. It's not like warm. It sort of resembles warm wood, because that's what it kind of is. But it's a little bit more sort of acidy and acrid, because I'm heating it up really quickly. See, it's not a particular pleasant smell. If you do pyrography a lot slower with lower heat, the smell is a little bit more pleasant. This does have a resemblance to what wood smells like when it's been burning. It's not burnt, but that vapour coming off it is very much, has a similar smell. Now, although I'm working this at very, very high heat for me, actually, as you can see, it's actually coating quite slowly. I'm being forced to slow down to do this, which is kind of a nice change. I tend to like to work fast. I like art forms that develop quickly. So quite why I like pyrography or scraper board or engraving. I'm not, or even carving. I'm not sure, because none of them develop quickly. About the only one is sort of punchcraft, but even that's a relatively slow thing, especially if it's a large canvas. maybe there's something about stabbing a piece of material many hundreds of times with a really sharp needle that negates the need for it to be fast. Or maybe it's just the optical illusion of the fact that you're stabbing this piece of material so fast that it feels like it must be making a lot of progress. Since I've got some plenty of wool, I really ought to make a wool rug at some point. Just maybe some random patterns in it, because I've got quite a few spare balls that we got when I was at one point I wanted to make a small wall hanging rug, so about 2 feet square, of a cat, but I literally didn't know how much wool it would take, never having done that before. It turned out to take a lot less wool than I thought, so I've got quite a lot of balls of wool that we could actually use to make a rug out of. Now you see me do punch crafting doing the 2 trains, but when you do a rug the needle is somewhat bigger, and because the wool's bigger. Yeah, the needle must be what, about somewhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch across. And just like its smaller brothers that I use for the punch craft, you don't want to get your fingers in the way. Now my finger's still getting hot from doing this. What was it? Blimey, is it that time already? Jingle bells. I used to play musical instruments. Like a lot of people in the UK, I first learned to play the recorder, which would be the descant recorder. Then I tried the bass recorder, guitar, then I play guitar, then bass instruments. I learned how to play cornet, similar to a trumpet, by the way, if you ever wonder what one is, but it's just shorter. Then an E-flat horn, that's a bigger instrument. A little while ago I sort of half taught myself to play a keyboard. One of the instruments I've always been interested in learning how to play would be a flute. Completely random why I was thinking that, but I've always liked the sort of really pure notes of a flute. Yeah, reputedly they're quite a hard instrument to play. But there again, So a lot of other instruments like the violin's reputedly quite hard to play, and the trombone is, and each for different reasons, of course. I quit quite early. I didn't. I carried on until after 9 o'clock UK time. In fact, what was it? If I have a look here. What are we today? We are on the 20th, so... Oh, come on. Go the other way. I'm trying to get Streamlabs. No, I stop at in your time 2200. I go. I start at, well. The ideal is I start at 7 and finish at that's GMT, so 7 PM GMT, and finish at 9 PM GMT. Go in for about 2 hours. If I'm late starting, then I will tend to go on a little bit longer, but not always. Why can I not get? I now actually want to have a look and see. That's not what I'm looking for. Oh, we're the 20th, so that's yesterday was the 19th. Okay, so that's right. So I did stream for 1 hour 38 minutes, but I started at 7:30ish, and it was still streaming at 9:05. So, kind of finished early in the fact that I didn't stream for 2 hours, but in actual absolute time I finished later than I expect to do so. You went for a shower, didn't you? And I don't think you got back before I finished, or was that the other night? trouble with streaming, or not streaming as such, but trouble with copyright laws is I can't play some of the classic Christmas songs because copyright. Okay. Have we heard this one before? I'll just fill in this section, then I'll change it to another set of tracks. Because I've got a feeling we've heard all of these before. Heard all of these now. Ow! So the pen isn't hot, just the air that's coming up off of it. Deep and crisp and even. Calvin interview. Cooking restlessness. Cooking when circles. Big giant circles. He's really now starting to look like he's coming out of the dark. Let's see what else we've got here. Let's try this. Let's see if that's any different. Ambient. There's some background music for some time. Christmas is fine, but when you've heard them more than once, it starts to get. A long time ago now, I used to have a job in a supermarket, stacking shelves, and the supermarket's playing music, and it's on a loop. And when you've heard the loop about 600,000 times, you kind of get tired of hearing things more than once. Even if they are Christmas songs. I'm not so sure about this one either. We'll give it a bit of a chance and then... No, I think we'll maybe skip this particular station. I'm not sure I like ambient all that much. No. No, I don't like ambient. Okay, well at least I learned what I don't like. Let's try some of that. I don't know, it's time I experimented a little bit with Pretzel, I think. So this is described as epic. It's a sort of cinematic type music or orchestral type cinematic. And I usually like that sort of thing, so we'll... especially where it's sort of science fiction type music. So let's see what this is like. I'm doing it again, I'm creating that sharp edge. Now it's totally surprising in some ways just how long something like a simple background here takes. It surprises me every time I do it. I've been doing this over 2 hours, this background, and it's still, not even completely finished. It's not even remotely finished, but you know what I mean. Now yes, I'm being really quiet tonight. Not saying a great deal. Feel free if anybody's watching, if they want to ask questions, you're quite welcome to do so. Not the most interesting part of this image, and I know, but it is an important part of the image. It has to be done at some point, so now's as good a time as any. It's a type of music called Vox Humana, or it's an instrument type sound. I don't actually know if it is real human voices or if it's sort of like an organ type sound, but I love music with that. There's quite a few games. Right? No. There's quite a few games that use that sort of sound for sort of really sort of epic type scenes, and it's some really nice games music. I just heard something in this music sounded a bit like it, so it just brought the thought to mind. You know, I'll be glad when I can get a microphone stand to put that camera on, so that I don't keep catching my hair on it. And then wondering whether I've had it pointing at the top of my head for the past 5 minutes. One thing you have to be a little bit wary of when you're doing pyrography and there's music playing in the background is that you don't end up trying to pyrography to the music. You know, working to the beat, or because it's fast music, start moving the pen fast. Generally speaking, it doesn't work very well. Right, it's going to be have a little bit of tea. I was about to say, I don't know why, but I have a large mug of tea here, which is almost all gone. But tea goes cold quicker than coffee. Same amount of coffee will last to be still quite warm after 2-hour broadcast. Tea was cold already. It was cold about half an hour ago. Difference is that I don't mind cold tea. I don't like cold coffee at all. It's one of the reasons why I have tea when I'm broadcasting. Well, I did used to have coffee, but I had to drink it somewhat faster then. At least the tea lasts the whole broadcast. So still working hard here not to get straight edges. Vertical edges, that is. I'm doing that by making sure that I don't start in the same place and stop in the same place on each stroke of the pen across the wood. Still want to try doing pyrography on paper. Kind of want to do that this week, but I also want to do this Christmas card, which I've got to design yet, so that is something I have to do after this stream, I think. And you've got lots of things to do after this stream. I want to put the prices up in the shop, for example. They haven't been adjusted for something like 2 years, and it's time that they cleaned up a little bit. They are no longer in keeping, shall we say, with current costs. Which, although it wasn't intended that way, is a hint if anybody is watching that wants to potentially buy anything from the shop, sarahganat.etsy.com, maybe to get in there sooner rather than later. So I'm not promising any particular date to put the prices up, just soon. And when I've had a chance to have a look at the the import regulations for a couple of countries or so, I will I'm going to try and put the pyrography into the shop as well. So things like the Hearthstone card and or cards, maybe this when it's done. Put them into the shop. But I do warn you, if you think you're looking at the pyrography when it goes in, pyrography won't be cheap. Just because of the length of time it takes to do. A piece this size is easily in the region of 10 to 20 hours of work. let's give that tip a bit of a clean. As I said before, I'm just using a bit of kitchen paper, which I just do that on, which wipes all that residue off. As you can see, not setting it on fire even if I hold it on there. I'm not setting it on fire. I'm applying pyrography to it, but it's not burning. So that's just an illustration, by the way. A lot of people think you know, you'd instantly set paper on fire. In fact, if I heat one of the other tools up enough to make it glow orange, in theory that is hot enough to set paper on fire, but you need quite thick paper. If you use thin paper, then what happens is it just carbonizes its way straight through it, and then the paper shrinks away from the hot tip, and it doesn't get hot enough to actually self-ignite. Ow. Oh, well, you must be just being lucky with the RNG then. Sometimes it works in your favour, and sometimes it doesn't. And you can guarantee that anytime you want it to, it won't. Guess that's kind of the problem with RNGs, they're always so random. There. Well, if you don't know what your luck is, Wolfie, then I can't help you. Well, that's it for me for this evening. That's gone quite well. I'm getting it going darker up there, and I may want to come back and do that even more. Now, yeah, you can just about see it on camera. I'm pressing that finger too hard on the pen. It's going slightly numb. That's maybe why it's getting hot. You see that's going quite nicely dark there. And I want maybe come back over this at some point and get it that dark down here, because it's really just dark brown. It may be enough, we'll see. But I've got all the background to do as well. You're going, so am I. See you later, Wolfie. See you tomorrow, or whenever you're back. So, yes, I'm finishing as well. Next stream, for those that are watching, should be tomorrow evening. Tomorrow's Thursday, yeah, that's okay. I intend to start somewhere around 7 PM UK time, that's GMT. Exact start time will be some point there or afterwards, just depending on when I manage to get something to eat. Because I do like to eat before the stream, otherwise I tend to want to finish sooner rather than later, so I can have something to eat. So keep an eye out. If you'd like to see any of the old broadcasts that Twitch doesn't have in the VOD store, in the archive store, there's 2 weeks worth of videos there. You can check them out on YouTube. Each night I upload the previous night's stream onto YouTube, so you're quite welcome to check them out there as well. And of course, just remind you of the 3 buttons up at the top there, all of which are fantastic for supporting the stream. Of course, there's the follow, which is great. More followers, the better. It's always good to have followers, but it does kind of help when Twitch start deciding who to give things to and promote and stuff like that. And of course there is both the bits and the subscription buttons up there if you'd like to consider either of them. That's absolutely fantastic. Proceeds of which go towards buying things like wood, bits, pyrography tools, carving tools, all the sorts of things that are used on the stream. So again, thank you for watching. Hope I'll see you on the next stream, which will be tomorrow night. Bye for now.